Wakey, wakey, hands off, Snakey. Who do you think you are, Aaron Rodgers in a gay porn movie?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wait a minute. I said I wasn't going to bring that up again. Damn, that's on me.
Yes, that was our April Fool's Day joke from the sports segment that just rolled right into the weekend, kids.
Well, technically, we are recording on April Fool's Day
Technically,
still.
we are still, so.
Yes, if you want the full context, you can listen to, and you should listen to, the sports edition from earlier this week. But of course, this is the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. As I mentioned, recording on April the 1st, dropping on April the 4th. I am the maestro Kevin Crane, along with your favorite uncle.
That's right, I'm back, the conquistador Dave Height. Oh, it's been too long.
And he's taking another week off in a few weeks, so.
Yeah, I gotta go to a conference out of town for work. Bah! Work gets in the way of all the fun.
We will take what we can get. And so should you as you stagger out of bed with your head throbbing. Other parts probably throbbing from your failures last night.
But you know the drill. Pop the aspirin with the water, get the coffee going. Fire up the griddle for your bacon and eggs.
Settle in for 90 minutes as your Uncle Dave and I go through the best and the worst in entertainment and pop culture. And again, our mission statement is, we don't care who we piss off, and we don't make any apologies for our opinions. Neither should you. I think they're really words to live by. I do.
Yes, be true to yourself.
Don't care who you piss off. Don't apologize for your opinions. We have got a jam-packed weekend edition for you. Starting off with the first concert review we've done in a while.
Yes, oh, it was much needed and, dare I say, much enjoyed. Because we start off with music because it's all about the rock and roll, baby.
Yes, and this one is very, very fresh in our minds, in our memories. Because this one was from the last day of March, Tuesday night. March the 31st, down in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the Egyptian Room at the old National Center, formerly known as the Murat. Place we've been to quite a few times.
Place that we enjoy.
So this is the fourth time we've seen Mammoth.
Yes.
And this was technically the first time Mammoth was the headliner. We did see them
co-headlining with Dirty Honey.
Right. Now, as always, and this is what makes concerts great, is there are stories. There are always stories going on at every show. And if you don't get stories,
then why bother?
Now, the first story is, of course, two of the three bands were dealing with illness.
Yes. The opening act, James and the Cold Gun, their lead singer, James, he looked like he was really under the weather. They almost bailed, but they decided to stick through and gut it out. And he blamed Wolfgang Van Halen for his cold.
And of course, not putting two and two together, Wolfgang comes out with Mammoth and says the same thing. Says, "Yeah, I'm sick as a dog."
We had to postpone 2 previous shows, but we're here to gut it out tonight.
And then in between those two, 10 years. Now I'll give them credit for the fact that they weren't bitching and pissing and moaning about being sick.
No, they came out and did their thing. So I've heard their stuff before. I recognized it. So not completely familiar with them. So not quite your cup of tea.
Yeah. I mean, I got through it. It was fine. It definitely, that type of music to me is why I really look back at the early 2000s to the mid 2010s as just a wasteland of music.
Yeah, there's a lot of sounds the same throughout. Occasionally you'll find the one or two bands that really stand out and excel through that era.
Well, and I've always said, personally for me, the two bands that I would always go with are Nickelback and Godsmack. Because to me, they had have a little bit more awareness in terms of song structure, changing things up. Yeah, we all know a lot of people hate Nickelback. Yeah, I get it. But by the way, new song out from them, Bones for the Crows, but I digress.
We are on concert mode.
Yes, back to the concert. So James and the Cold Gun, I thought they weren't bad.
They were decent.
Kind of hard to judge again. If he was sick, you don't really know what they'd be like at full 100% level.
Right, it was hard to gauge, but giving them the benefit of the doubt with what we got.
Well, and we'll find out because I'm going to marry the bass player. So
the next future Mrs. Crane.
Yes. Woo! I mean, I was smitten the minute I saw the top. I was like, "Hello."
Very talented, though.
Yes. I was going to go out to the merch table and say, "I don't care about the T-shirts. You got a ring I can buy here? A nice little velvet box."
Something, please.
Whew. And then, of course, in the flood leaving after the show, the crowd is sweeping me away as I'm looking back at the merch table knowing that James and the Cold Gun is there. And I'm thinking, sweetheart.
Oh, dear.
I joke, but still, you cannot keep my lustful heart down. But no, they were good, and again, I wouldn't mind seeing them again at full strength.
Right. That would be a bonus.
As you said, 10 years isn't my cup of tea, but you enjoyed them.
They were pretty good.
Yeah.
I did not hate
some
them.
of their songs.
I knew some of their songs, so.
Then, of course, we have the headliner. And as we mentioned, Wolfgang Van Halen was under the weather as well. But we did get a solid 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yep.
And I didn't notice, at least from his vocals.
No, he sounded pretty good.
So I don't know if they cut a song or two out, maybe, to give him a break. But still an impressive set list, impressive performance. This is one of those bands. We have our little group of bands
that we will see any chance we get.
Because they never, ever let us down. Ever. No.
And Mammoth did not disappoint.
No. So the set list, one of a kind. Of course, the first song off the new album, The End, he played a lot off the new album.
Yes.
And of course, he told everybody, if you don't want to hear the new stuff, go out and buy merch. But yeah, one of a kind, and then we get another celebration at the end of the world. The Spell.
Oh, fantastic live.
Yeah, Epiphany. Now, Stone, I know you were never a big fan of Stone, but I've always liked that song off the first album. Yeah. And they've played it every time we've seen them. Now,
it grows on you more the more you hear it.
This one, they changed it up a little bit and did more of a slower entry into the song. And of course, Wolfie said is because he saw 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, and wanted to do something along those lines. It worked. So then we had Happy.
Again, off the new album. Yeah.
Yep. Resolve.
Which is a song he said that people have been begging him to play live.
Yep, and so he honored everybody's requests as they came in for that one. And then Distance.
Yep, we got the distance. Yep.
with the home movies going in the background, kind of his tribute to Dad and thanking the fans of his father, just kind of paying tribute to everybody with that one. Such a good song.
I do like the fact that they worked that in the middle of the set. I don't know if I'd like it at the end.
No, it wouldn't work at the end. So no, this that was perfectly placed in the middle. So, and then something new. Take a bow.
Now, what we're looking at here is we've got notes from setlist.fm. I didn't catch the intro. I knew I'd heard that before, and I knew it was not him.
Yeah.
I did not realize it was Tool's Lateralis. Very cool. It was maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, just a quick little blip into it.
But I heard that and I was like, this sounds like he's going to go into a cover. And then he shifted back to Take a Bow. But I knew something was going on. So I like getting confirmation of that.
Yeah. And then the fun song.
Yeah, that we close out the regular set with.
I really wanna. His homage to Dave.
Not you.
Not me. Mr. Roth.
Yeah.
Diamond Dave. I really wanna fuck with you.
And you and I have to look at each other when he hits the line.
That fucking kid on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then, of course, he comes back for an encore and acknowledges basically that the encore process is bullshit.
Yep. All right, yeah, we're going to go step off stage and then make you guys cheer and then we'll come back out and blah, blah, blah.
Because we knew we were going to get these two songs, Don't Back Down, and then, of course, the title track from the new album, The End.
So good. Such a fitting finale.
Yeah, as he said, we're gonna end the show with the title track from The End at the end.
Yep. he had some fun with it. But,
yeah. And again, he seemed to be hurting a little bit, but got through it, and that should show you when you've got a performer who guts it out, still puts on a high-level show. That tells you something, gives you something that we don't normally get in this day and age, especially considering the fact that we pay $26 for tickets.
Yeah.
And you've got the idiot Bruce Springsteen charging people thousands of dollars for the same view at his show. We get. So he can bitch and piss and moan about the president.
Yeah, and here Wolfgang just wanted to entertain.
Yep.
You can tell he enjoys performing. He is there for the fans.
Yep. And it's probably...
repeatedly thanking everybody for coming out.
Yep, and it's probably something he learned from his parents.
Yep, don't take anything for granted.
Yep. So, I mean, a solid 3.5 frenzies on this one.
No doubt about it. Just an enjoyable night of music.
Yep. Yep. And as Dave and I just discussed with you kids, Mammoth is in that small pantheon of groups that we will always go see whenever they're nearby. And, of course, we have 1 or 2 of those coming up later this year as well.
That we do.
Now, I did a pretty good job over the last couple weeks.
Keeping the kids entertained?
Without doing anything that would mess up what we normally do together. But I do have to ask. And if you don't want to, that's fine. If you want to save it or skip it, did you end up listening to the Black Crowes' new album yet?
Not as much as I would have liked to be able to give it a valid run.
Okay. That's the only thing I've got that I think I hit on over the last 2 weeks that I was like, yeah, let's see if Dave.
Yeah, I listened to it a little bit, but not as much as I normally would for
Okay.
a full on review. So I will say I enjoyed what I've enjoyed it, but I can't give the full in depth that I would normally.
All right. Now, next week, and you, of course, anytime you want to, feel free to step in and, you know, whether it's next week or 3 weeks down the road, you want to give a review of it. If you want, feel free.
We may just run through and
But
keep on rolling.
Next week in music, we will have our review of the quote-unquote new album from Lou Gramm of Foreigner. These, of course, these songs on Release, the name of the album, it's all stuff from his 2 solo albums from the late 80s, stuff that didn't make the cut for those 2 albums. So stuff he's reworked and redone, and
this is we would like to have more of this type of thing.
Yep.
We know all these groups and bands and solo acts have a lot of recorded material that hasn't been out. If you don't want to do anything new, how about you release these unreleased tracks? Give your fans something new to enjoy.
Something new to us, right?
Yeah.
Because even if it's archival stuff, we haven't heard it.
Yeah. So new to us. Come on.
And there are some performers out there who will do this. And I just ripped on Bruce Springsteen, but he does that. He will release everything from his vault.
Yeah.
After Tom Petty passed, they released everything from his vault. We've hopefully, somehow, some way, someday, we're going to get Alex Van Halen releasing this old Van Halen stuff. So, yeah, we just want new music for us. Even though it's stuff that you guys didn't deem worthy or the record company didn't deem worthy, let us be the judge. We're the fans. Let the fans be the judge.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of the problem is digital music nowadays, because back 25 years ago, what you get is a box set.
Right, yeah. You
get release a box set with all of the stuff that didn't make the cut for the official album. But now they don't want to put that kind of stuff out anymore. They'll put the expanded editions out, which is basically
the
a bunch
album
of bullshit
again
remastered
with 2 or 3 songs that didn't make the cut.
Yeah. That's not what
we want. We want an album of the stuff that did not make the cut for anything.
All right, let's move on to TV and streaming. Now, with the concert last night, kids, as you're listening to this on the 4th, but we're recording on the 1st. March 31st last night, we had Mammoth. So that took away a day where I think both of us would normally end up watching a lot of the TV shows.
We would do some catch-up stuff and all of that.
So I think Dave and I are just going to do a real quick rundown of where we are with the shows, but I don't really think either one of us watched as much as we would have liked.
Nope. I'm 2 behind on RJ Decker right now, 1 behind on Tracker.
I'm with you on Tracker. Did not watch Sunday's Tracker. I did get home when we got home last night. I did throw on RJ Decker.
So you're
but I didn't. No, I did not get through it. I got through about half an hour, so about half of it. Did not finish the latest episode. I'm still going back and forth about Marshalls and if I'm going to keep watching that. Did not watch this past Sunday's. Did watch Dark Winds, though.
Oh, definitely got Dark Winds in, and oh boy.
Yeah, and we figured this is where it was heading, with this obsessive.
Contract killer.
Yeah, and how she is so laser focused on
She's
Leap Horn.
enamored with poor Joe.
Yeah. So, yeah, and she's getting better.
Dealing with his guilt and everything.
Well, yeah, and there's all this mysticism that
Yeah.
always seeps into every season, the Native American mysticism, and how much of what she went through this year was actually physical versus that.
Yeah. That,
Um,
so the plan to resolve it is looming.
and then I read today they're already filming season 5. They're already in production on it. Yeah.
Nice.
So there will not be a delay for season 5.
Good. I like to hear
So
that.
I
This
would
this show
imagine-
is so good. The cast is brilliant. They work well together. It's a complete show.
Yeah, and I would imagine season 5 will get late this year, early next year.
Yeah.
What I think at some point we should do, since I bought it late last year. Now I watched it originally when it first aired, but I don't know if you ever saw it. The PBS version
I have not seen the PBS
Skinwalkers?
version.
with Wes Studi and Adam Beach as Leap Horn and Chi. We should watch that and review that sometime. Do a little story time on that.
That would be good.
Just to compare and contrast.
How it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to do that.
Now, of course, I don't believe the original PBS version had Manuelito in it, because I think she comes in later.
Yeah.
I actually wonder, and I don't know enough about the Hillerman books, but I know she's in the books later on. I'm wondering if they didn't...
Skew it a little bit.
Well, I don't know if she's in those early books.
See, I have not read them, and
I'm wondering, but
that's
though I
a
want,
series I
in
do
order
need
to have
get
a
to.
female character, if they didn't bring her in earlier than anticipated, or what the chronology of the books
Yeah.
would suggest.
So, but at least they just didn't create a character. It was
Right.
an established
No,
character
yeah.
from the universe.
Yeah, no, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just
Trying to figure out
Yeah.
where in the time frame. Yeah.
back when the original PBS version came out,
Low
you
those
didn't
years
have
ago.
to do that
Right.
if you didn't need to. And then, of course, neither one of us, and I'm shocked Dave didn't do this yet, because of him having read the books. But Detective Hole is now on Netflix.
Yeah, I have not gotten to it yet.
Based on the Joe Nesbo books. And the only reason I say this is because I know you've read those books.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. Because, Nesbo is one of the 414 books you read every year when his new books come out.
He is one of my authors that I will read, yes.
But yeah, we've got all those series we're still trying to keep up with. Of course, Dark Winds, is that a review for next week?
That would be a review for
Since
next week, since it's
It'll
the
be
finale.
done this Sunday, right?
Yeah. So then I got sucked into another series that's on network. I can't remember which channel it's on offhand, but Best Medicine.
Fox.
It's on Fox.
That's a Fox, yeah.
Quirky medical small town drama, goofy characters. It's entertaining. It's comfort TV. So we played catch up with that to get everything lined up. So there's enough there to suck me in to watch it.
Netflix. Still a good bargain. I will say this. Still a good bargain. At least for me, for the version with ads. But Netflix, of course, has to increase prices. So now
They all do.
with ads version of Netflix will be up to $9 a month. But of course, you guys have to have the fancy version.
We got the mid tier.
$20 a month.
Is what it's going up to.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
Yep.
We may have to go ad free or go to the ads.
Yep. Yeah, the ad free is going up from 18 to 20 a month. But then you're not gonna lose access to some of those movies.
Yeah, I know. We may stick with that and just dump Peacock and be done with them.
Yeah, Peacock this is why I was saying Netflix even going up $1 for my tier, the ad tier. I'll pay $9 with ads for Netflix. How does Peacock justify $12 a month? And like we always talk about, so the NBA. We've got the NBA. Yeah, but you lost the WWE. So why does that justify jacking your prices up
I
through the
don't
roof?
watch the NBA. I could give a rat's ass.
Oh, and
why
baseball.
do I have to pay for
They've
it?
got baseball now, too.
Whoop de effing do. It's not worth it for Peacock.
No.
They don't have enough content.
No, hell, I got rid of Paramount. Paramount's cheaper. And I got rid of Paramount because it's too expensive. Without Landman on, without Tulsa King on, I don't care. Doesn't do it for me. So yes, Netflix has got me. I'm sure they're ecstatic about hearing that. But again, it's kind of like Amazon. Amazon, for what you get for $15 a month, including the free shipping, you can't beat it.
Yeah, they've got enough content on Amazon and Netflix to keep you going.
Those are the two I'll keep, no matter what. Speaking of Amazon, as you're listening to this, a movie I have been waiting for a long time. Well, since it came into theaters. Crime 101. With Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry, and my favorite actor, Mark Ruffalo, is now on Amazon Prime Video. So you can check that out. And I do believe that will be one of our featured film reviews for next week.
Yes.
Along with the Hulu spectacle, which I did not think your Uncle Dave was going to watch. We kind of got our wires crossed a little bit since he's been off the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I knew we were going to watch this movie, but I didn't know they were going to jump on it. Him and his family were going to jump on it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, this has been much discussed, and my youngest decided, screw it. We're getting the Hulu subscription rolling again for Mike and Nick and Alice. So come on, 2 Vince Vaughns. How could you not want to watch this?
Yeah, that's going to be the other featured review for next week. So
you're in for a treat.
So to recap, music Lou Graham, movies Crime 101, and Mike and Nick and Alice. But we have movies this week.
We do.
The last movie. The reason I kept Peacock for another month. Because, damn it, I am not going to let my best bud down. We have made a commitment to the Poonaverse.
All into the Poonaverse. Monsters Unite is looming after Pinocchio.
Yep, so Pinocchio, I'll have to keep an eye out for that. But the latest that just hit Peacock within the last week or so is Bambi the Reckoning.
Yes, a demented, out for revenge Bambi. The deer with no soul.
Now, see, your Uncle Dave told me he wasn't going to be able to get to this week, and he just watched it this morning as we're recording, so I'm trying to gather my thoughts as to the issues I want to discuss with him, because I wasn't prepared. First up, This is what confuses me. The Popeye movies are not part of this, but yet the Popeye movie you watched that I never got through, not Popeye the Slayer Man,
But Popeye's Revenge.
the opening, the animation to Bambi the Reckoning really looked a lot like that.
It did.
So I'm like, but that's still not part of this. It's very odd, though, that they would have such similar openings.
Similar pieces to it.
Yeah, they have these animated openings. I don't know if it's kind of an homage to the actual animated versions that these are based on before they twist them into a bloody knot.
Yeah, because they did that with Steamboat, too.
Yes, you're right. Yep, which, again, not connected. Isn't life great when you can just
dissect silly
when the
movie horrors?
Well, when the stuff hits public domain, you can just take it and pervert it to your own
to your heart's content.
Yeah. All right, now we have reviewed, obviously, over the years, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, and we just recently got through Peter Pan, The Neverland Nightmare. As you mentioned, we're waiting on Pinocchio.
Now, weren't they supposed to do one with Owl?
I didn't hear that, no.
So
I told you there's an offshoot about Piglet.
Yes,
it's not officially connected to this.
It's not part of the Pooniverse.
No. Because, again, they're just taking all these characters out of the public domain now.
And bastardizing the entire thing.
Now, the actual movie itself, Bambi the Reckoning. There were parts of it I really liked and parts of it I really didn't.
It was a mishmash of two movies into one.
I didn't think it had focus.
That's why it's like two different stories trying to go on.
The premise was good to explain what happened to Bambi and why Bambi became this monstrosity.
Yes.
But we never, maybe it's just me.
It didn't get fleshed out enough.
Yeah, we get this family involved.
It's too much of a jump from where we learn that to boom, this family being attacked. And there's a lot of unanswered questions.
Thank you.
It's not a cohesive story. There's too much open-ended that they didn't meld the entire story.
Okay. So
it was very disjointed.
All right, so I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy.
Okay. Because I'm like, you never explain the father's role in this whole thing outside of maybe one sentence.
Yeah. How is this family part of it? Why is Grandma focused
Grandma's the other one. Yeah. Never get an explanation
of why Grandma's doing what she's doing.
She's clairvoyant, okay? But why? Now again, there are some things they do well. Thumper.
Thumper was awesome.
Yep, the rabbits are great.
The rabbits were phenomenal.
Now there were some bad special effects in there. It was usually when Bambi's coming out of the forest. Sometimes you could just see.
You could see that
it looked like an overlay almost, a computer overlay.
Yeah, they weren't very tight with those effects.
And then, okay, so we've got this band of hunters. Why? What is their motivation? I know, that sounds so pretentious. What's the motivation for these hunters that are hunting down Bambi?
Again, it was very poorly brought about in the one scene. It's like, okay, you're trying to make up for what? We know there's a cover-up, but of what?
Right. Yeah. Yes, we're not spoiling anything because it happens right away. Bambi is a product of some kind of a toxic spill. But beyond that, we really don't get a lot more information.
No, it's
like
one
you
of the
said-
big question marks. Is like, what the hell is going on? What is the big secret?
Right. Yeah, we never get that. Like you said, we don't get that connection. What's the family involvement? Why is the old woman, got these visions, and what does it mean?
And why is she sketching? And
Yeah.
very disjointed.
Mom was very pretty, though.
Mom was very well cast.
Yes. I'll give them credit for that. They seem to be figuring out one of the key things they need to do in these Pooniverse movies is give us at least one hot chick. Now, she was gorgeous. Gorgeous from the neck up. I mean, gorgeous. But she was wearing that huge bulky sweater through the entire movie, so I'm like, I can't see what the goods look like. Okay? At least in Peter Pan, Wendy was, even though we didn't necessarily get redeeming qualities, at least she was wearing a nice, tight crop top, so I could see there were some goodies under there. You can't put this hot chick in Bambi in this massive, huge gray sweatshirt. Come on, man! I need to see if it's the entire package or not.
So you wonder, was the actress pregnant during filming? Because it started off wearing the parka, the huge parka.
You're a very observant man. Very observant man.
So, we don't know.
She was beautiful. Beautiful woman. Yes, of course, this is what you've come to expect from us. Demented Disney characters. And us
An
evaluating.
appreciation of the fine female figure.
So for different reasons, I'm going to end up giving this the same review I gave Peter Pan. I'm going to give it a week 2 frenzies. Just because I was very frustrated in this case. With Peter Pan, it was just too demented for me. It hit too close to home. It was too real with the drug abuse and the
kidnappings and
yeah.
yeah.
This was more, as you've mentioned.
They didn't put a coherent story together.
Right. This had great potential.
It did. This could have been fantastic if they would have had a well thought out story that pulled everything together.
Yep.
It needed a rug to tie it all together. But yeah, I have to go with a 2 on it.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to watch it if you want to watch the grand finale.
And I'm very curious as to how they're going to pull these characters together. And again, going back to what I would argue might be the best, not just the Pooniverse, but all of these movies. Popeye the Slayer Man would have fit perfectly in this.
It would have.
You could have tied in, because he's eating the toxic spinach, and you could have tied in the company that did the spill in Bambi. Would have been great. Would have tied everything in. Now, I don't know how you would have I still don't know how you're going to bring Peter Pan into this, based on that movie. I can see bringing Pooh and Eeyore in. They're probably out there in the woods. But
yeah, I think they're going the Disney characters is what they're focused on with.
Right.
But was Pooh part? Pooh wasn't really part of.
Yeah, he's Disney.
Yeah,
he's Disney.
He got into the Disney realm, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're doing the Disney stuff.
Yeah.
But thank God they left Steamboat Willie out of it.
But yeah, they could have done that too.
Yeah.
As we've seen in a couple other movies.
Mousetrap,
Yep.
Steamboat.
Yep. But yeah.
As long as they make them, we'll keep watching them.
Yeah, they're not awful. And they always show potential.
there's
I'll give them that.
there's
They're
always something there that could have been built upon further. But I think Blood and Honey 2 had been the most complete of the Pooniverse.
I would agree with that. Yep, I would agree with that. Bambi could have been the best.
It could have been.
Like you said,
if they
had figured the plot out better, given us a better script, I think it had the potential to be the best.
Yeah,
but
the storyline.
As executed...
There were a lot of executions.
Yeah, I think Blood and Honey 2 has been the best, because then they realized what they didn't do in 1. Then they said, okay, now we give you the story. Now we give you the background and explain all this. All right, so let's go from one bloody mess to another.
Sisu 2.
Road to Revenge. Now, if you have not watched these movies, shame on you. Especially if you are an action aficionado. Like
These
Dave and
are
I are.
must-watch movies. The minimalist, as you mentioned, the minimalistic dialogue is perfect for what's going on.
Well, and then even in the second one, the final line from another character is no need to say anything.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who have not watched the movies,
Suspend disbelief.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes.
Over the top action, violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no mere mortal would be able to do any of this stuff.
Well, supposedly the legend is immortal, but it's the other stuff. I know for me, in the second one here we're reviewing, when I got to the tank scene, I was like, okay, now I just gotta let it go.
I told you that just suspend disbelief and go with it.
Yep. And even before that, there was some stuff where I was like, no way. I was even willing to let all the shenanigans with the planes go. But the raft was the first.
The raft was...
I'm like, how the fuck did he do that? No way in hell.
Oh, come on. The train, though.
Well, yeah, but by then I'm already too far gone.
You went, why is he chewing the handle off the knife? Oh, that's why.
But now, again, for the uninitiated, technically, the character is not Sisu.
No, Sisu is the frame of mind where, when all hope is lost, you will do anything and everything in your power to survive.
Yeah, now the character played by, and I know you guys will not know this name, Jorma Tomila is who plays the main character. Atami Korpi is technically his name, even though that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But he has a legend built around him. He is technically seen by his Russian enemies as an immortal.
Yeah, and that was by the Nazis as well in the first one.
Right.
So think of him as Rambo, John Wick, John McClane. Think of everybody all wrapped into one.
Yeah. Yep. What you are going to have to do beyond willing suspension of disbelief with the action is just deal with the fact that there is basically no plot. This is a revenge machine set in motion.
Yep.
And
all they had to do was let him take his home from where it had been to where he wants to be.
He wants to go back across the border to Finland.
Yeah, he goes into Russia, which is the annexed portion of Finland after World War II. He just wants to get the timbers and everything from his home and take it back into Finland to rebuild his home and live out the rest of his life in peace. But no, they can't leave well enough alone.
And of course, his mortal enemy, played by very well by Stephen Lang, told at the beginning by a malevolent Soviet officer, and I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm pretty close, you will go out and you will fix this mess that you fucking created. Basically.
Yeah. That this is the guy who wiped out hundreds of our soldiers in revenge for what you did to his family.
Yeah.
You had to re-poke the bear, didn't you?
It's tremendous. It is just tremendous. And again, it's so far over the top. Fair warning to you kids out there in podcast land, fair warning. If you can't suspend disbelief, if you're not that type of person, and I know people who watch movies and they
that couldn't happen.
Yeah, they don't like time travel movies, or they don't like this type of movie or that type of movie that, have elements that aren't based in reality.
And you know what I say to you?
The infamous horn of disgrace.
Because these movies are awesome.
Yeah, like I said, all I did once we got to the tank scene, as I said, so we're going this far over the top, right? Okay. Now at least I know.
Now I'm full in.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do.
Yeah, now I know the rules are there are no rules.
See, I thought it was going to go one way. And it went a different way with it.
But the thing, so well filmed. Beautiful movie to watch, honestly. Despite all the blood and the gore.
The cinematography is incredible.
Well, yeah, and the direction, the scene, and again, we're not trying to spoil anything for you. Like I said, there's really no plot other than Dave basically told you the entire plot. He's just trying to rebuild his old house, take the timbers back from Russia back to Finland.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
And then he's just got to fight off
everybody
who's trying to stop him. But when he's on the train, the scene where he escapes and he's trying to get from the back of the train to the front of the train, and he has to sneak through the cars full of sleeping soldiers is amazingly done.
That is phenomenal.
And he's trying to maneuver his way through. He's not necessarily going to kill him.
No, he only wants to kill one person.
Yeah. But then as they're sleeping and rolling over, their arms are flopping over, and it's creating this gauntlet for him to get through, and then there's a broken bottle, and he has to decide, do I try to tiptoe around it or step on it?
Boots were right there!
I'm not going to say anymore because it will spoil too much. You and I can talk about it. But there are so many little details and moments that just make it so much better than an average action movie. It's incredible.
The detail they put into this stuff is beautifully done.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, the knife handle scene. Unbelievable. And I was with you. I was like, what the hell's he doing? And then later on I go, oh, now I know what's coming. Because it's in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
I was like, what was that all about? Where is it? Where is it?
Then you see the outline.
And I was thinking, man, that's going to cause some hemorrhoids. No.
But, oh, man.
I will give Sisu Road to Revenge 3.5 frenzies.
Right on where I'm at.
It is one of the top shelf, top level action movies you will watch.
And as a sequel, it did not disappoint. It was right on par with the original.
Yep, a brisk under an hour and a half.
Yep. Just boom, boom,
But I'm
boom,
telling you,
boom.
I got more in less than an hour and a half out of this movie that like one battle after another.
That droned on and was painful to watch.
And you know what else I thought of watching this? I thought Quentin Tarantino's got to be pissed off because this is the type of movie that he probably wanted to make, and this director outdid him.
Yes.
This is a better Tarantino movie than
Then
what Tarantino usually does.
yeah, that's a good comparison.
The gratuitous violence, the over the top extreme stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Django, Hateful Eight, got nothing on this.
Nope, and you get it for about an hour less.
Yes.
You get just
It's
as much
concise
action
and
Yep.
to the point. Yeah.
Very, very good stuff. Now we have trailers to discuss here. We got the new full trailer for Apex, which is coming to Netflix here soon. This, of course, is the survival thriller starring Charlize Theron and Taron Egerton.
Yep. Hunter be hunted. The full trailer makes it look better than the mini trailer.
The teaser.
The teaser that we got. And Edgerton, wow.
Yep. And what's that movie? I always say you reference it. The Most Dangerous Game, is that it? Where they hunted human beings?
I think that was what it is.
So this is kind of a sort of another movie
take
like
on
that.
Yeah.
Where you've got either the individual psycho or the psycho group
Yeah.
that says, hey, it'd be fun just to hunt another human being.
What? Come on. Let me make sure.
Well, while you're doing that,
Yep, man is the only prey capable of reasoning, thus making him the ultimate challenge for a hunter. A short story from 1924. And then it spawned a myriad of movies.
Yep. Didn't watch all of these, so I'm just gonna do a couple of these as a public service announcement. I know all you geeks out there are going crazy about the new Harry Potter series. I guess the trailer's out there for that. Good for you. Have fun. I'm done. I watched the first couple movies. That's all I needed.
Yeah, I did. Why are we redoing it again already?
Money, 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 money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Money.
Although I guess it couldn't be already because it's... Yeah, they've been out for a while.
Yeah, but see, I'm with you, though. It seems to me like it's still too soon. And then, of course, we sit here and we go, why do we need Harry Potter again? Why do we need another Cape Fear?
Yeah, really. Why do we need a third one?
Which is going to be debuting soon here on Apple TV. Now, I did watch the trailer. The trailer didn't do much for me, but I've heard that people are very intrigued by this because you've got that showcase role in this. This is a movie where you have the one role.
Yeah.
That everybody wants.
Villain.
Nobody cares about the family.
No.
You
want to play the villain.
Was it Cade, I think might be the name of the bad guy, who was originally portrayed by Robert Mitchum and then Robert De Niro, and now it's Javier Bardem. And so everybody's saying, oh, Bardem, perfect choice. And he could be.
He could be, but guess what? I don't need a third one. Sorry.
And then I did not subject your Uncle Dave. I did watch it. God help me. To the latest full trailer for Masters of the Universe.
Why did you do that to yourself?
Because I keep holding out hope that somehow it'll get better, and it doesn't. It gets worse.
The first full trailer was trash.
It's just, I don't like the guy playing He-Man. I don't like the way that Skeletor is. Skeletor looks, and of course it's Jared Leto, so that automatically condemns this movie to hell in terms of box office. But I mean, in this day and age, with the special effects that we've got available to us, Skeletor, when he talks, still looks like it's the
clutch cargo type
the
deal.
fake jaw that barely moves. You can't make him actually speak like he's an actual being. It looks like a dude with a rubber mask on. I have a bad feeling that Masters of the Universe will
be a
crash
massive disaster.
And burn. And it'll end up being a huge hit.
I don't think so. They're trying to go nostalgia for the Barbie movie. They think they can get that type of bit. This looks so bad.
Then, of course, we've got the latest full trailer for Supergirl, which I don't think looks any good.
Oh, God, it's...
Another example, just like Masters of the Universe, where the more I see of it, the less I like.
Yeah, even with Lobo in this trailer, it's...
And again, we've got to do everything revolving around the fucking dog.
Gunn is becoming a one-trick pony. He's like, oh, I did this great thing with Guardians of the Galaxy, so I'm going to do that type of thing with every movie I do now. No, you can't.
Then we have a teaser for The End of Oak Street, which is supposedly, maybe not tied into the Cloverfield movies. We get Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway and their kids living on this idyllic street where all of a sudden it seems like it gets
transported in a portal back to dinosaur times. Think Land of the Lost in a house instead of a raft.
Land of the Lost, very nice. Good reference. Good reference. And then finally, this one is dividing Dave and I a little bit. Backrooms.
It's an intriguing premise.
You like the teaser more than you did.
I like the teaser more than the full trailer. This is going to be one of those polarizing A24 films that's either going to be great or it's going to suck.
Yeah, basically there's a secret
dimension.
Yeah, a maze of some sort hidden behind a furniture store.
Yeah.
And somebody discovers it and tries to explore it more and more, and it seems to keep growing and changing.
And he brings more and more people in to help him, and
yeah. Of course, bad, bloody things are going to happen, but as you said, with A24, it could end up being really good or really, really shitty.
Yeah, there's no in between with them.
Yeah.
It's all or nothing.
Oh, I meant to bring this up a couple weeks ago, but since you weren't here, I've been saving this. Now, going back to another trailer, I believe this is one we talked about the last time you were on. I am obsessed with Obsession. You know, the one where the kid wants...
The teaser looked... the full trailer looked good.
Found something out about this movie.
Oh, no.
They were talking to the director. No, it's I guess it's not good or bad. It's just a little anecdote.
It's just interesting.
Now, this movie, of course, will be in theaters coming this summer. It will be R-rated. But the director said, I submitted it to the studio, and I had to get rid of, in one scene, 6 or 7 head smashes in order to avoid an NC-17 rating.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yep.
Wow.
Yeah, typical pattern for your Uncle Dave and I. Bloody
mess.
Yeah. But I thought you would like
Over
that.
the top bloody violence.
I thought you'd like that little story.
That's good. I like that.
Any books this week?
No, I'm not prepared. I had my notes from a few weeks ago, but things have passed from then. No, I think I talked about them, so I've spent the last 2 weeks reading James Lee Burke's new one, How to Call Boogie, getting that finished, which you are on your way to doing.
Yes. My favorite author. I tend to read his books very slowly.
I usually go through them at a pretty good clip. This one, I actually had to go back and reread a few things because it's deep.
Yeah, it's nearly 500 pages.
Yeah.
Which is very, very long for Burke.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this one.
So eventually we will get to it. I promise you. Did you ever get a hold of Jigsaw by Kellerman?
Yeah, we reviewed it.
What?
I thought we did.
No. I reviewed it without you.
I thought we did.
No. When were
Or we were going to. No, I finished it.
No, we did not review it.
We did not. No, I had it ready to go for that first week that I had to miss.
Because you kept telling me you, for some reason, were having a rough time getting a hold of it at the library.
No, I did get a hold of it. I did get it finished.
Yeah, because it's a short, quick read.
Yeah. No, I did get it and finished it. So.
Are you prepared?
We can do it.
Well, I just did it. So this is your catch-up moment. I reviewed it 2 weeks ago. I needed something. I needed content when you weren't here.
That's fine. Yeah,
You got the 2 cases.
Yeah,
that
seem unrelated but are related because the missing daughter and all of that. When you knew characters and who was involved, I knew who had done it. It was easy to figure out. Just waiting for the payoff to come through. So in that regard, usually you're left guessing a little bit better with Kellerman. Not being able to figure out the end game as quickly. This to me, he left it easy to figure out.
I don't know if I would say I thought it was easy to figure out. I mean, you're right. Once you start leading down that path, yeah.
So as soon as a couple of things were mentioned, I'm like, well, that's got to be where it goes. I mean,
But again, it's a short book, so
there wasn't a heck of a lot
yeah
to it to begin with.
See, I liked it. I thought it was good.
It was well put together for as short as it was. It had a nice pacing to it, and it rolled along well.
Yeah.
You got all your characters in. They played their roles. It was a decent entry into the field. Was it the best? No. Was it the worst? Not even close.
All right.
It was a comfort read.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Fair.
I'll still give it. I'll give it a week 3.
Yeah, I think I think I gave it a regular 3.
So, but not bad.
Yep.
He's still worth reading.
I did like how he tied the two cases together.
Yeah. Bringing it all in.
Yeah, because initially, I think that was why I really liked it, was initially I'm like, how is he going to pull these two together? What's the connection here?
Yeah, and lo, there it is. So,
all right, now
pretty
I feel
cool.
better.
I enjoyed getting the whole story of the backstory from the first victim, and then tying it into the other one, and
Yep.
so he did a nice job bringing it all together.
Yeah, so I think I agree with you more than it sounds like I do. I think you and I are closer than maybe it sounds like. I think we appreciate the same things about it, and then I did think it fell off a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, it got a little boom, boom,
And
boom.
then you have to have the obligatory interview with the psychopath at the end. Yeah.
But that's where he goes as a shrink.
Yeah, I know.
Trying to get the understanding.
And as you and I discussed last night, still waiting to hear who Amazon is going to cast now that they have the rights to the book series.
Yeah.
Because this will be the first time ever anybody has actually pushed forward with a TV or movie adaptation of the Alex Delaware novels.
Yeah. And yes, while Milo's character is gay, he is not the stereotype effeminate at all.
No. And that's why
they better not even think of trying to do that to him.
I wouldn't be shocked if they make his personal life a little bit more upfront.
Yeah, with his doctor.
Yeah, with Rick.
Yeah.
That's I agree with you. That's one of the strengths of the books, is that Kellerman gives you, here's your character, he's gay, yes, he's with this surgeon, that's it. Every book I will remind you of this, and then we're moving on.
Yep.
And then we'll tell you about the discrimination that he faced in the police department, and then once they realize how well he did his job, they left him alone.
There you go.
You get that every book.
Yep.
Kellerman gives you that basic backstory of Milo every book, and that's it. And then we move on. And that's the way these movies, these books, these stories should be told.
Yep.
He's gay. She's gay. Deal with it. Move on.
Don't
stop going and taking established characters and twisting them or turning them, or taking the stories and changing them to fit what the Alphabet Mafia wants. Right from the start, Kellerman said,
boom,
gay character, here you go. You get a little bit of backstory, and then that's it. You got it, now move on.
And it turns out you've got two traumatized characters coming together to find a common ground and a friendship.
Right. Yep. I still would at some point like to see Alex Delaware hand Milo a bill for all the food he's eaten out of his fridge.
No kidding.
It's one of the running,
or the hours that he's put in as a consultant that hasn't been paid by the police department.
But yeah, the food thing always drives me crazy. Oh, here comes Milo.
He's wiping out the refrigerator again. He's taken the last 3 weeks of leftovers and made one big meal.
Dagwood sandwich. Yep. Oh, good stuff. All right, let's start winding this puppy down, kids. We will start, of course, as we hit the end of the trail, with moments of silence. Actress Mary Beth Hurt Not necessarily anyone I'm overly familiar with, but I know the name. I know old school,
Yeah.
a few old school roles she was in. Um, Sadly, even though she is the more famous of the two, James Tolkien, based on the one iconic role that he was in, he played Mr. Strickland
Yep.
in Back to the Future. Yes, he had other roles. He was in Top Gun. But,
Yeah, Mr. Strickland was in the trilogy.
yep. Thoughts and prayers to the family and friends of both.
Yep.
Mary Beth Hurt and James Tolkien. And on the music front, Dash Crofts, one half, of course, of Seals and Crofts. Summer breeze makes me feel fine. Some yacht rock for you, kids.
Yep. So thoughts and prayers to his family and friends.
All right. With that being taken care of, it is time to
Pivot. We have to pivot to find out who of our lucky contestants will be this week's Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week, winning the golden boot up the ass.
And of course, you kids at home are welcome to drop a comment and vote for who you want. But of course, in the end,
we need to copyright the play at home game.
What do you have the golden boot and you move it around the board?
We have to work on this one.
We could have four corners. We could have Jimmy Kimmel. We could have Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar.
We have The View, late night talk show hosts, stupid celebrities. Yeah, we could figure this out. God,
I'm telling you, if my daughter was 10 years younger, she would take on this. Now that, of course, she hates my guts, that's not going to happen.
Well,
but
there you go.
The home version. All right, now I limited, just like with the sports edition this week, I restrained myself. This one was tougher to restrain.
Actually, no, it's going to have to be an app because then it could feed in with all the weekly stuff. And
I was afraid you were going to say that. I don't want to go down that road. I'm old school. Get off my lawn, guy. Remember, that's me. I like a board game, a good board game.
So do I.
I want the little Pop-O-Matic in the middle.
We could do both.
Oh, man, okay.
We want to maximize exposure.
Yeah. Well, let me talk to the tech department. Oh, wait. I'm the tech department. All right. We're going to start off with a story that most of you are probably familiar with by now because there have been so many memes about it. We've joked about it. Yes, we're talking about the 12 tons of KitKat bars that were stolen in Europe. We've got
Hold on, let me finish my KitKat bar here.
This lost truck traveling across Europe. I believe it was going from Italy to Poland. 413,793 KitKat bars to be exact.
Give me a break.
And we did our research on this yesterday. We still have not heard definitively about the driver.
Yeah,
we don't know. What is the driver under suspicion, involved?
These are the questions.
But of course, the dumbass in the situation are the thieves. What are you gonna
do with that many KitKat bars? Were you stupid thinking that you were getting a shipment of something else? Were you given the wrong information?
Wait a minute, this was supposed to be gold bullion. What the fuck? Bearer bonds. God damn it.
Weren't these supposed to be the munitions that we were supposed to get?
All right. Well, I just mentioned his name, and he usually pops up as a dumbass. That would be one Jimmy Kimmel. And I'm actually going to tie in my badass of the week
With
to
your
this.
dumbass.
Jimmy Kimmel, of course, ripping into the new head of Homeland Security because he had a background years and years and years ago as a plumber. He ran a plumbing company.
What's wrong with the trades?
That's where we bring in our badass. Who better to question Mr. Jimmy Kimmel than one Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs?
Yep. Mike Rowe is becoming the champion for the everyday man. Doing the jobs that need to be done that don't get the glory.
Dan, of course, handles himself a hell of a lot better than these late night talk show hosts. Comes across as much more mature and basically questioning Jimmy Kimmel and his motivation for saying this, and said, if I needed open heart surgery and my doctor had a past as a late night talk show host, I wouldn't care as long as I knew he had gone to medical school and become a doctor. So why are you questioning this guy because years ago he was a plumber?
Yeah, that's Jimmy Kimmel being an elitist prick that he is. Asshole. God, I can't stand that fuck.
I hate him more than you. I know I do. And if you hate him that much...
I'm just sick of this bullshit that he's pretending to be.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's who he always was. But screw Kimmel.
Oh, by the way, you weren't here last week. His other late night idiot friend. Did you hear what Stephen Colbert's next gig is going to be?
No, what?
They actually, and this is not an April Fool's joke. Okay, we're still recording on April Fool's Day. This is not, the kids know I brought this up last week in the dumbass segment. They actually are going to let him write the next Lord of the Rings movie.
Why?
He's a super fan, Dave.
Big fucking deal.
He's a super fan.
He's a super fucktard is what he is. God.
Yeah. How is he qualified to write a screenplay for a major motion picture like that?
We'll let it bomb and there we go.
Something else that you and I discussed pre-concert last night. Maybe it was post-concert, I can't remember. Now, Project Hail Mary, huge, massive hit at the box office. Second time that they have adapted a book from one Andy Weir.
Yep.
Of course, the first being The Martian. That became a huge box office hit. But, of course, in this day and age, you cannot criticize or say anything bad about anybody. And even with the success he is experiencing right now, Andy Weir made a mistake because he dared to, in a podcast interview, I believe it was a podcast, somehow, some way they brought up science fiction in terms of Star Trek. And like me, he agreed that outside of Strange New Worlds, most of the other Star Trek shows they've put out over the past decade or so have been PC crap. Oh, but you can't do that. Don Winslow, another famous author, came out and said, you should apologize to Alex Kurtzman. Of course, he's the guy who's been shepherding the Star Trek series over the last decade.
And poorly, by the way.
You can't do that. You can't say that. Writers don't criticize other writers.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I think you can.
But the worst part of it is, Andy Weir apologized.
Damn it, Weir.
And of course, that is one of the tenets here on Sports Frenzy
Don't
is
apologize for your opinion and belief.
this one. I don't think you probably have heard about this. This is a great one. I'm not going to give you the names. I'm just going to... The Lion King.
Oh, I heard about
did hear this. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the composer for the music for The Lion King is suing a comedian for $27 million because the comedian dared to make a joke about the chant at the beginning of a Circle of Life.
It's a joke. That's what comedians do.
Yeah, you guys know, whatever it is. And the comedian joked and said, that really means, oh, look, a lion. And now this composer got all butthurt because that's not what it means, and you've denigrated my work, and Are we really even considering this as a legitimate lawsuit?
No.
Once again, there needs to be a clearinghouse level where we look at you have a judge who looks at this lawsuit and goes, this is stupid, gone.
Bye-bye.
No appeals, no nothing. You're a moron for even thinking
bringing this up.
We were going to waste our time with this. Okay, I hate to pick on the young kids. You gotta, and this is kind of a visual thing. I know we don't do visual podcast, but you guys can go out and look at the video on this. They had a beauty pageant called Miss Grand Thailand. And you had this 18-year-old who comes on stage, you know how a beauty pageant looks, the sparkling dress and all that.
Yeah.
18 years old. Right? She comes out on stage and they're going to do the typical beauty pageant thing where she introduces herself to the judges and the audience, and the minute she starts talking, false teeth fall out.
Oh no. Oh no.
Veneers, right?
Oh.
So she's got to turn around and jack them back into her mouth and come back and do the, oh, look, I'm fine, smiling and walking around the stage. Why does she need veneers at 18 years old?
Because it's all about perfection in the beauty world.
That's ridiculous.
It is. It's complete crap.
18-year-old girl needs fake teeth? Because my first thought was,
maybe
my first thought was, if her teeth are that bad, then
why is she there to begin with?
Yeah, she shouldn't be in a beauty contest. But if it's like you said, just the vanity thing where my teeth are 90% nice, but I need to make them that
they
extra
need to
10%.
Be perfect.
Yeah. And everybody's praising her about, oh, she rebounded so well.
Poise under pressure.
Yeah, she forced him back in and was able to walk around the stage, and it looked like nothing was wrong. I was like, oh my God.
No, what's wrong is the unrealistic expectations that are put on people.
So let's wrap things up with actress Gina Gershon. Oh, by the way, she's got a new book coming out, a memoir.
Oh, no.
Called Alpha Pussy.
Of course it is.
But that's not even the part that makes her a dumbass. But please, tell me how that title isn't meant to generate shock and awe and interest, right?
Right.
I guess in the book, Gina Gershon talks about how she turned down a role in Friday the 13th Part 2 because it was going to be the typical, back then in the early 80s, a typical slang. It was going to be takes her top off
And she
then
gets killed.
impaled or something like that, right? And she says in the book, I just turned it down because I felt like it was exploitative.
And nothing else you've done in your career was exploitative?
I was going to say.
Really?
The article.
Showgirls?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. She goes later on to talk about her experience in Showgirls. And I'm like, that wasn't exploitative? Wasn't she also in the first Wachowski brothers movie?
With Tilly?
Yeah, Bound.
Yeah. Bound, a love story?
The lesbian sexual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing else outside of a potential topless scene.
What was it, the other one with Woody Harrelson, Palmetto?
Oh my god. I vaguely remember that. If you hadn't said that name, I wouldn't have, but...
But she was always in those and... dropping top.
All right, so to recap, your nominees for the Red Foreman Entertainment Pop Culture Dumbasses of the Week are the KitKat Thieves, Miss Grand Thailand and her false teeth, Gina Gershon and her hypocrisy about appearing topless in Friday the 13th Part 2, Jimmy Kimmel for ripping on the head of Homeland Security because he was a plumber years and years and years ago, the Lion King composer suing the comedian, and Andy Weir for backing off on his criticism of current Star Trek series after being bullied into an apology by Don Winslow.
There's a few worthy ones in there. I have got to go with the Lion King composer because I fucking hate stupid lawsuits.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. 110%. That's the winner.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So bad.
Couldn't agree more. And I couldn't agree more about the stupid lawsuits. That is always going to get you an extra bump up or bump down, however you want to look at it, when it comes to the voting, the final vote, each and every week here on Sports Frenzy for the Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week. But of course, you kids, feel free to vote. If you don't agree, have at it. Please elaborate on your choice as well. Let us know why you're picking your dumbass choice.
Or maybe we missed one. Who do you have as your dumbass?
Yeah, feel free to always send me nominees. Feel free, please. Now, that doesn't mean that on my own I won't be able to find more than enough.
But we want to make this an interactive.
Yeah. There were a couple this week that I wanted to add in that I left out because now they might make an appearance next week, but even as cruel of a human being as I am, when it comes to judgment and picking these dumbasses, I mean, it's a little hard. It's a little harsh to pick on the 18-year-old with the false teeth. But still, watching the video, it's just like, oh my God.
Come on, why didn't you use Fix It In?
Fix it and forget it. But there were a couple out there. Christy Gnome's husband. That I was like,
oh my God,
dude. Does that even go beyond being a dumbass? But, you know, who's the dumbass here? I mean, if we criticize him, then we piss off the Alphabet Mafia, right? Does he qualify as part of the Alphabet Mafia or not? Cross-dressing? So I'm like, that's a conundrum. I'm going to stay away from that one.
Yeah.
But always a good time to wrap up every episode of Sports Frenzy with the Dumbasses of the Week with my brother from another mother, the Conquistador Dave Heights.
And that is your Uncle Kev, the Maestro Kevin Crane.
Hope you enjoyed the weekend edition as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. And we'll do it all again next week. Once again, remember, we're going to review Crime 101, Mike and Nick and Alice, the new album from Lou Gramm, released, even though it's not technically new, sorta, kinda. And we'll have a whole bunch of other fun stuff. We'll have our review of Season 4 of Dark Winds.
Yep.
Since that'll be wrapped up.
Crime 101, Mike and Nick and Alice.
Yep, so have a lot for you next week as well. And, of course, we'll have Dumbasses. We don't wish for moments of silence.
We don't want them, but there's usually one or two.
So, unlike the Academy Awards, we will acknowledge each and every person from the world of entertainment that leaves us. Still find it amazing how the Academy Awards leave people out.
Yeah, they suck.
But enjoy your weekend. Hope your pounding head and your throbbing groin have lessened in their intensity and their pain. But don't worry, when you screw up again next Friday, we'll be back again next Saturday morning. But until that time, say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.